Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy week 10.
Yeah.
Happy week 10. We are back at it for another great episode. It's your favorite host of Cracking a Cold One, Yoxie and Degs. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great.
Doing great.
Good to see you.
Had a great week.
Yeah, good week. And man, today, November, 65, not a cloud in the sky.
It's so beautiful outside.
It really is.
It
Get
feels-
outside, get some steps. I'm telling you, that's what I'm going to do after this.
It sucks because I wanna go out there and golf so bad right now, but I'm like, this is the first Saturday that I've had just no photography in the past 2 months, and I gotta do so much stuff to catch up with cleaning up the house. I gotta
Sure.
get all my winter clothes
Sure.
out and stuff like that. So, we're just enjoying this beautiful Saturday.
Yeah,
So,
as you should.
well, we've got got a great episode. Got a great episode today, guys. Obviously with not free agency. I'm sorry, with the trade deadline that just happened. We're gonna go through our normal topics today with the games of the week, and then going through our rapid pick'ems, and of course fantasy and some betting.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, and can't forget our upsets alerts as well. But without further ado, let's get this thing started. Cheers, buddy.
Went with the lemonade today for myself.
Old Faithful with Surfside. Shout out Surfside. Shout out Surfside. All right, so let's dive into this great episode that we have planned for you guys. Trade deadline.
Did not disappoint.
The most exciting trade deadline that I would say probably in history. I think Adam Schefter said it was the most active trade deadline in NFL history. Um, what are your thoughts on the overall trade deadline? Before we dive into each trade one by one.
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I hope this is just the first of many from here because this is what teams should be doing, right?
Yeah.
Like if your team is mediocre, 500, injuries that are you got to still compete, and you know what you have now. If you have the backups that can come in and do a good enough job, depending on the duration of some of the injuries and whatnot, but no, it was super active. I love it. People were saying it's like fantasy. To me, it reminded me of like the NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA is very much like this, and again, like I hope this is kind of a new wave for the NFL because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I completely agree. I think that the trade deadline definitely showed the teams that are preparing to have an off season of just wheeling and dealing and trying to build up their teams. Um, but yeah, I mean it was a great trade deadline. Um, he went to the Steelers actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's why I was like I don't remember that.
Damn, good move for them.
Yeah, but let's dive into it. So starting things off with the Chargers, they ended up acquiring Trevor Penning.
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on Trevor Penning.
Yeah, he was a high pick for the Ravens, and
Just exactly what they needed.
yeah, and they needed a tackle after theirs went down. So great move for the Chargers. They're competing, they're contending. So they've had tackle issues for the season, both of them. So I think this is a poor man's version. They're going to be able to at least help Herbert a little bit more with time and just confidence in there. So I like the move a lot.
Yeah, no, going to your point, I mean it's rare that you see an offensive tackle that's actually traded during the season because typically teams are wanting to keep that. Obviously,
Right.
The Saints, they're at that point that they just need to stockpile,
Accumulate draft picks.
some draft picks to go ahead and go into the offseason now. yeah, to your point, I mean, Trevor Penning going to the Chargers, that helps them out. Get some help to protect good old Justin Herbert. Big fan of this move. Love the Chargers right now with how they're looking into the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm liking it a lot.
No, I agree, and that's good also for when Hampton eventually comes back.
When you get an offensive lineman that's traded, I just think that's a A plus plus.
I agree.
You're looking to protect your most valuable piece of your team, which is the quarterback, and then that obviously, if you nail the trade and you get somebody who's a stud, then now you're setting yourself up for the future.
Exactly, because maybe he's someone you can move to the interior eventually when Slater or Rashawn Slater and Joe all come back next
Yep.
year. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
definitely a versatile move for them. They've turned into a better organization.
For sure.
You know, with Harbaugh
Harbaugh's
in
over there.
Yeah,
Definitely, he's I think the one and only coach that I think that can come into any I think NFL team and he can turn it over.
he provides
He can
stability.
flip it just
Yep.
in a heartbeat. I'm a big fan of him. So, yeah, the great move for the Chargers.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the good old Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, the rivals. They made some good moves in my opinion.
These are some solid moves. Now, for what they gave up,
Wow.
that is
I know. Well,
the amount of draft capital that they gave up is definitely is going to hurt them. I think in the long run. Listen, it doesn't help them. I think in right now, I don't think that they're planning to fight into the playoffs. They're a 3-win team, so how much more is this going to flip their team, into a playoff team? I don't think it's going to be that much of a move. But I do like Quinnen Williams.
yeah.
Big fan of Quinnen Williams, and not I don't know too much about Logan Wilson, but they're known to obviously acquire linebackers all the time down there. But Quinnen Williams down there, I mean, that's great for right now.
Yeah. I agree.
What I wonder is, okay, so what are your plans in the offseason with Pickens? They're right now $78 million over the cap going into this offseason now that they have Quinnen Williams.
Yeah. I would say they probably, to get out of that, would be they got to get rid of Diggs, right? Isn't he kind of taking up a lot of the contract there? So that'd be my first thought, is because he has not played up to par. I believe he could be someone they can move. Not sure how big his contract is. As far as the interior, I mean, they did a good job because they give up so much to the run. So I do like their moves with Williams. Logan Wilson has a really good profile coming from the Bengals. It was one of those things where he was a good player just on a terrible defense. You know what I mean? So I like their moves. Though I agree with you. It's not enough to put them that much. I mean, I think it moves them up a bar, but because a lot of their losses have just been shootouts. It's just because the defense couldn't get enough of a stop, which, maybe now this kind of helps with that.
Yeah, he's due. I mean, he doesn't have anything guaranteed this year. I mean, everything looks like it's. I'm actually I got to do some research with how they have this whole thing set up, but he's essentially due $14.5 million this year, 19.5 next year, and then $20 million. This is for Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
The one player that's taken up the most, obviously, out of their cap right now is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is due $78 million himself.
Could that be the move?
So I think it's just more so you got to restructure
some people's deals and whatnot.
Yeah, because Dak that contract is insane. Let me actually go to see exactly how much he's getting paid.
And he could be.
I'm sorry. So he gets $40 million this year, 45 next year.
Okay.
But it's a $68 million cap hit. And then in his last year, it's a $78 million cap hit. So I think there needs to be a little bit of probably restructuring here if they're going to need to go, if they want to try to afford anybody else. in the offseason, but there's going to have to be a lot of shavings done to their team. I mean, like I said, the immediate like future with this season, I don't see it doing much for them. If they can keep Quinn Williams, then yeah, they'll be solid for the next couple of years on that line. But outside of that, I don't know. I'm just curious, how do they, how they do that? You pay Dak already. You paid CD. You're about to get rid of now, or not get rid of, but your second best player on your team is right now this season is Pickens, and he's going to be walking in this all season. So
If I'm them, I think I'm finding a way to keep him, almost like kind of how the Bengals did it. I mean, I think at this point you're kind of there, and you need to bet on that situation. Another guy that we'll probably have to let walk is Javonte Williams, because
for sure,
he's going to get a contract after
Yeah.
the year he's having. He's proven himself. So you're right. There's going to be a lot of shavings. It's going to be interesting how it unfolds, to be honest.
hey, I'm glad that I'm just happy that we have Howie.
Yeah, we were talking about stability not too long ago. That is not the word for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. This is probably one of my favorite moves out of the whole entire day. Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah. That's a good move for that team.
It's amazing, man. I mean, the Seahawks right now have solidified themselves as a true contender. Their defense is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And then JSN, obviously, he can put himself up there. He should, in my opinion, should be MVP. The NFL won't ever give any other offensive player an MVP outside of a quarterback, just because that's how they always do it. But he should get MVP because he's on track to have 2,014 yards this year, which would be insane. It would be insane. Adding Rashid Shaheed down there, that just obviously, just bolster up their offense. Everybody's focused on JSN, and Shaheed's just going to be way down the field now moving forward, and he's just going to be like waiting.
I mean, like you said, they're already a contender. Their offense is a top 5 to 10 offense. Defense, same thing.
Yep.
So now they bolster up, get another weapon for Darnold, another deep threat. Him and Horton are the guys to take the lid off the defense.
Yep.
And then you got JSN who could do it all. And if Kupp can get healthy, I mean, they're really looking in great shape there. So,
and Shaheed also started off his career, and he really got his name from being a special teams guy.
Yeah.
So,
no,
that also could help them out, just putting him there as a kickoff returner or a punt returner. Yeah,
it's a great move.
The Seahawks are starting to get themselves back into the conversations of back in the good old days when they had what's called Russ Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, all those guys down there.
Legion of Boom.
Yeah, Legion of Boom. So that was a great move for them.
Let me ask you a question. Would you say to contend with the Eagles, they're one of the teams?
For sure.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
Yeah, I can see it. I could see it happening. I mean, that team right now, with the weapons that they have, they for sure
playing as good as anyone.
Yeah, I think it still is the Rams, because nobody can ever overlook what Matthew Stafford's doing. Matthew Stafford is probably one of the best quarterback in the NFL right now. If not the best quarterback, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So, and he's 37 years old, which is insane that he's still doing what he's doing. So, Seahawks, they have themselves a tight division still.
Oh yeah, it's a formidable division. Like, there's no easy wins for sure, especially now with Brissett playing the way he's playing. Niners are never out of it, of course, because Shanahan. So it's not going to be easy, but so far they've been able to weather most of the storms. I know Tampa Bay is probably the most notable loss, but that was a hell of a game for one.
Yeah.
But no, great move for them to keep contending and move forward with the season here.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So next one was the most surprising move out of the entire day. Was telling Deggs that when I saw this move, I literally had to do those. Let me rub my eyes really quick, just make sure that I saw this correctly. Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis right now, obviously, is best team in the league. I mean, they're they have just like continued to win week after week. Obviously, they had a few like questionable losses, like the one that they had against the Colts, or not. I'm sorry, it's the Colts
Steelers
against the Steelers.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think that they put themselves right now in the conversations of being the best team or one of the best teams in the league. Now with Sauce Gardner, bolstering up that defense. Their secondary was already questionable to begin with.
Right.
Okay. Sauce obviously hasn't had the greatest season this year, but going into a better predicament, I think he is fired up to play well. I love the move for him. I hate the fact that they just got him like as their cornerback. I'm like, gosh, now they're just gonna.
Well, now
Steichen just continues to, do well over there, coaching them well, and the team just overall is just like I said, like it's been the biggest surprise because I did not think that Daniel Jones had this in his bag. I did not think the Colts were going to be this good this season, but hey, Irsay's daughter is she's doing well down there.
Yeah, no, the torch was passed, and she's certainly trying her best, right?
Heck yeah.
She's on the field trying to learn the ropes here.
I like that.
I mean, I do too. I think it's respect, it's respect to the game, and not to just act like she's an owner, so she knows best.
Yeah,
right?
She's sitting there chatting up with Steichen, like trying to get some knowledge on the team and everything like that. Like I love that. I was seeing that. I was like, that's very, very good.
The Irsays are good owners, and to your point,
I say Jim was a little bit of a.
I mean, he was a
little crazy at some points when he had some questionable. He did. Yeah, he did well for that team.
I just mean he was able to kind of before all that. There was a time when he built really good culture over there. With the Dungy days and things like that. So I just in that regard, that's what I meant. But I think she's going to be a little more, have a little more of a tighter ship, polished. And a little more of a better leader at times here. But Steichen, to your point, has shown out this season that he's just proven that once you got him his quarterback, that he can get the team rolling here. So going back to Sauce, I love it. To your point, for him and the team, it's a great fit. They need an ace cornerback. They got one. He just got locked up, so now they know they got a guy for the foreseeable future. So that's awesome for them. I mean, their front seven has kind of been their strength, right? Like we said, they're good against the rush, getting to the quarterback. So this is exactly what they needed to kind of help them go up a peg here in contending for the playoffs and the Super Bowl here. So I love the move. Now, after last week's loss, hopefully it's one of those losses where every team's got to get punched in the mouth sometimes.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where I think it was a great win for the Steelers. They came out and showed out, kind of shut us up from what we were saying. And the Colts just got caught, sleeping at the wheel. And I think they're tightened up, and this is going to be a good week probably for them over in Germany, right?
Is this the Germany game?
I believe so. Versus Atlanta.
Yeah.
9:30. So 9:30 football with your
Beautiful.
Breakfast is back.
Beautiful.
I love that. Sauce Gardner overall, though, great pickup for them.
Amazing. Yeah. I big fan of Sauce, so I like that over there. So that'll be good. Next one here is a under the radar one I liked also as well. It was Jakobi Meyers to Jacksonville. I think Jakobi just needed a new. He was miserable over there in Vegas. So I think he just needed a new, space. So Jacksonville, I mean, they are a much up and down team this season. I don't really know how to gauge them. This does help them. I don't think it, puts them above, a bunch of teams and whatnot. But what are your thoughts on Jakobi?
No, he's a great receiver. He proved himself that it wasn't just a Patriot thing. He did well over Las Vegas the last three seasons there. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so. Wanted to get out, go to a better team here. So Jacksonville is actually a good fit for him. I think with Trevor Lawrence, he could have a good connection there. I mean, they lost Hunter for the season, right? Or at least for an extended time. If not, Brian Thomas has been not playing well. / he's now hurt. He's going to be out this week. So him and Parker Washington, those are two guys they're going to be leaning on this week. And I think that it was a great move just to help them get by. I'd say that they're just back to square one, right? They haven't gained a peg, but they haven't gone down from the move now. So I like it. It's going to help them. I don't, as we've seen as time goes on, I don't think that they're a real contender in the AFC. They're just going to have spotty games. I think they are on the trajectory to be better each season from that new coaching staff. But overall, like you said, it's exactly what you said. Under the radar move, but not a game changing move for that team.
Yeah. And right now with the Jaguars, let's see where they're at. Okay, you didn't want. Sorry, guys. So Jaguars right now are second in their division.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they've won some games, but like the game
they're in the thick of it.
The game last week versus the Raiders, it came down to the last second. And
Their schedule also. I mean, they have a few. Never mind. Jags. Yeah, I don't think the Jags are making the playoffs. They're gonna. I can see them losing to the Chargers. They travel to Arizona. That could be a toss-up right there.
Sure.
They have the Colts twice, and then they have the Broncos.
Oof, that's a tough road.
And Broncos are away too, so if they have to go into Denver in the middle of December.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
They're going to be
for
tested
the Jags,
multiple times
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. All right. Next one we have here, the Ravens. Your boy, Draymond Jones.
Yeah, Draymond. He got, rightfully, I'm glad that he's gone to a contender here. He's a great pickup. 4.5 sacks in the last, I think it was 3 or 4 games here for him. So he's having quite the season. I think that's it's what I said. He goes to a team that already has an established good defensive front. He's going to go in and just be a nice little piece there. So good move for them overall. Their defense has gotten better and better, as we were saying. Remember, early on, they're historically bad defense for all the points they're giving up and lack of turnovers forced. It's totally been kind of a 180. So now their defense people are picking up in the waiver wire, in fantasy football. So great addition there. Offense is starting to get rolling now with Lamar back. Derrick Henry's looking like he's got some life to him and stuff. So good move for them. Under the radar move, kind of like the Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, like I said, it helps them out right now. And to your point, yeah, they're getting into the swing of things again.
Right.
Everybody's healthy. Last week wasn't a really perfect win, but I mean they won. So get back on that train and continue to because I mean that division, if they I think could be the one team that could come back and win it out. Pittsburgh is up and down.
They play each other twice though, I believe. So it's gonna come down just like last season. I'm pretty sure it came down to kind of that situation there.
That because they still haven't played. They had December 7th and January 4th.
Yeah. Wow. 2 big games.
Huge, and they had the Bengals twice.
So those divisional games, they're going to be like playoff games, So they're another team that's going to be tested here coming up, and
yeah, they have Cleveland after this week. They have Cleveland. It's funny. So they have Cleveland, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, and then non-divisional game, and then Steelers.
That's a hard schedule.
That is, yeah. It's gonna be interesting for like how things play out. But no, I have faith in the Ravens. I don't think that. I mean, I have Lamar and Derrick Henry, so I'm really praying that the rest of the season
they figure this out.
Yeah. To improve. So I'll be happy. All right, next one that we have here is Kyle Duggar to the Steelers.
Yes. Yeah, my little mess up there. But
safety help for them. I mean, their secondary sucks.
Yeah. They need the help, and they're getting it with him. He was signed to a long-term deal just last off season with the Patriots, and just with a crowded secondary, he got kind of pushed out there from training camp. So I think it's another under the radar move for the Steelers. Like you said, dude, they needed help so bad. Although
Yeah.
they played a good defensive front last week versus the Colts, but much needed help. And if they're going to hold on to that division here, they need all the help they can get on that back end. Offenses look good, in my opinion. Rodgers looks a lot more confident and just cool, out in the pocket. He's able to move, I think, a little better than early on in the season. He's able to kind of make some things happen on the move when he needs to. So, Steelers, very interesting team. Can they be consistent? That's the question.
Steelers frustrate the hell out of me. Just because, once again, with them, I just don't understand. Like, are you guys contenders? Are you pretenders? Like, in my opinion, I think they're frauds. So I don't think that they're legit. But I know your brothers are not gonna like that when I say that. I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, who are some Steelers? And then I'm like,
Damn it,
oh
Joxy.
crap!
No.
I get
Look,
I get put up in a bag. I get like broken in. My house gets broken into by the Deglio Beezies. And
the lights are off, you turn it on, they're sitting on the couch.
No, they just end up sitting me in a
Jesus.
chair with like a bag
Yeah.
over my head.
Italian mafia. Yeah.
What'd you say about the Steelers? They smack
get
me
you
in the
on
face with the yellow towel.
Yeah,
The
They-
terrible towel.
Yeah, oh gosh. They get you on records. Say we're great. Say we're great. Yeah.
I just listen, man. I want to give them the respect, but they have the most expensive defense in the league, but yet it's ranked 30th in the league.
It's because they're old.
Like it's just horrible. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm just gonna say it at that. I'm gonna leave it at
Yeah.
that. The Steelers, we'll see. All right, last one that we have here are my boys, my Eagles.
Take it away.
Oh my gosh.
Take it
so excited for the Eagles. Bye week had the best week, and I already said this last week. You don't give the Eagles a bye the week of the trade deadline. Better yet, you don't give Howie a bye during the trade deadline. You know why? Because Howie does Howie things.
He's in his
Howie
bag.
puts on his mask, and he comes in there, and he is shiesty and steals everybody. And listen, I'm a big fan of all the moves that he's made. We'll start off with the one that everybody was like, it's not that big of a deal, Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander has not had the Pro Bowl-ish season that he, has been known to have with Green Bay. But over in Baltimore, that was a different story. I'm not mad about it.
Sure.
It's depth regardless if it doesn't work out. So he at least brings that veteran presence to the team. Did not know that he was actually born in Philly.
Really?
Yeah, he was born in Philly.
Okay.
Then he moved down to South Carolina, I think it was. But yeah, so Jair helps. I'm happy with it. We definitely needed some, like I said, some fresh blood on that secondary. We talked about this one last week. MC Dub. MC the second, Michael Carter the second. Very, very happy with this move as well. This was a move that people have mentioned that it could be like a Zach Bond type of signing, that he was overshadowed by Sauce Gardner in New York, and that he could very well, shine with the Eagles. And I love that, because if he's known as a nickel corner, so Coop can play on the outside.
Mhm.
You have Michael Carter playing the nickel, and then you have obviously Quinyon on the other side. If that is what the secondary is moving forward, I am so happy with it, especially if Michael Carter works out, and that we become unstoppable on that side, because we've been needing that. And then my favorite signing that I called last week, Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh my God, yes, let's go.
I'll cheers to that for you.
Let's freaking go, guys. Jalen Phillips, welcome to Philly, my guy. I'm gonna tag you in this episode. huge fan of Jalen Phillips. I was a huge fan of him when he was down in Miami. He obviously had, like I mentioned last week in our episode, that he had some freak injuries early in his career, but the man he was already having a pretty solid season down in Miami. I mean, he only has 3 sacks, but he is. I saw this graphic that he right now is getting to the quarterback faster than any other defensive end in the entire league right now.
Okay.
He's
Like
ranked
pressures.
yeah, he's ranked. So he's ranked first, right? All the other Eagles defensive ends are like 20th and like all the way down, like
Okay.
in the bottom half. So Jalen Phillips comes to this team. He brings just amazing presence to the team, to that line. He's already familiar with Vic Fangio's defense, and he was a fan of Vic Fangio down in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was people that were saying that that the reason why Vic left was because that some of the players weren't a fan of him. Jalen. I mean, I just can't say enough. I'm ecstatic. You bring somebody who's known, to play that 4-3 defense. He's going to get to the quarterback, like I said, quick. That's going to promote, turnovers for the offense and for the quarterback. And hopefully this means that the second half of the season for the Eagles that we continue to improve.
Yeah.
And hopefully we make it to the promised land again.
Yeah. No.
Your thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Jalen Phillips is one of those guys that can affect the game even if he's not the one getting the sacks, right? So to your point, he's going to get the pressures. Some of those other guys are going to get to him. So I think their numbers are going to go up by default. Another piece to this is him and Nolan Smith together, who is about to come back. So I think that's going to pay dividends. Jair Alexander, he doesn't have to be that guy that he was in, say, Green Bay. He really doesn't, right? He just has to be, a mediocre version of that. With that defense, with the pressures, hopefully they're going to get now. As they're getting healthy out of the bye, I expect a lot much of a difference on both sides of the football. So those signings those trades, definitely great moves, and it's one of those things almost like we were talking about the Cowboys, them making moves to try to bolster up and contend with the division. They just gave them a taste of their own medicine.
Seriously,
and it's just like no, not on our watch.
And this was something that I brought it up to you that I heard is for how he gave up for Jalen Phillips. What he calls Miami and he says, give you a 3rd round pick. They're like, yes, and he gives them the later pick of the 3rd round. Like the man, like I said, he's shiesty.
Yeah, he knows how to get a deal done. I'll tell you what.
That's why I'm happy that he's our GM and not Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I mean we talk about stability and that's the one thing that they've been able to have across the last few years here, and why they're putting themselves year after year in contention for a Super Bowl. With Howie leading the charge, you always feel good. I mean, whether you like the Eagles or not, you can't argue with that. I mean, he's proven himself, year after year. He cleaned up his act with the draft here, and now those are the most impactful players. He trades for people and help, in these runs, just like he just did, which you would think at least one of the two are going to be long-term pieces. But it's just you're never out of it with him, and even if you have holes, like he's gonna fill them down the road.
Very happy, like I said, with that how everything turned out for my Birds. It's always a dub when it's a bye week, and the rest of the division just loses all their games. So, hey,
there you go.
We're on to now. On to Green Bay. On to Green Bay. So with that being said, let's dive into our game of the week. And guys, I'm going to preface this. Me and Degs, we think I probably mentioned this too earlier in our episode that we typically don't we'll chat throughout the week and whatnot, but we don't usually release what we both are going to talk about until obviously we share our notes the day of. And Dex comes in and he's like, "So I'm gonna talking about the birds for the game of the week," and I look over at him and I'm like, oh, "No," because I was gonna talk about well, guess what? Now we're both gonna talk about the birds because this is, in my opinion, this is the game of the week. There is so much on the line with this game.
Absolutely.
So much on the line.
Absolutely.
I'll let you go ahead and dive in.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the schedule and I just don't see another game that I'm more excited to watch. Monday Night Football, how can you get more excited than that? So the Eagles are coming off the bye, like we were saying. They're getting healthy. They're getting reinforcements on the trade deadline. So that bodes well for them. And with the bye here, they're going to get more time to kind of get acclimated with the team, a few days here. So that's huge. You expect the defense to have a new look, more pass rush to the quarterback, more help on the back end there. So we just talked about that essentially. And then on the offense, right, you got to think that they're going to work out some of those kinks, more continuity. A.J. Brown is healthy now. He'll be a nice boost coming off this bye here. I think you're going to see him get the ball a lot more, a lot more balance offense, a lot more efficiency here. So the Eagles, I think, are in a really great spot going into this game here versus a formidable opponent in the Green Bay Packers. It's always a good game versus these teams. I feel like they always just have a little extra energy. It feels like a playoff game. Now they're coming off a really bad loss here. It should have been a gimme versus the Panthers, and those are the games why you question if they're legit or not, right? Because they let some of those games. Didn't they lose to the Browns earlier this season?
Dude,
was that the game?
The Panthers one really hurt me because I for sure I fell into the Vegas hole last week when you guys all know when I released the betting slip that I was gonna put in, and I put it in and took.
Yeah, I
took
thought that was a gimme.
Green Bay minus 13.
Yeah, that's frustrating. And it's one of those things where you're even just upset. Even if they hit money line, you're still upset because you're just like, you still just play down to this team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened last weekend, right? And they can't do that versus the Eagles or it's going to be an onslaught. Like, it really is. Now, Josh Jacobs was the only bright side, I'd say. He had 87 yards and a touchdown, so he's having a great season, as we all expected here. On the receiver end, it's very interesting. Golden's had less snaps here. Watson kind of took his snaps a little bit. Dobbs continues just to be the go-to guy for Love here, especially with Tucker Kraft now tearing his ACL. That's a big deal for them. You wonder how they're going to do at the tight end spot. Luke Musgraves now is going to come in. He was a high invested pick a few years ago, but Kraft just obviously proved he's way better than him. So it's going to be an interesting situation. I foresee both these offenses firing on all cylinders. We're going to have a high scoring affair.
Yeah. Going into this week, this game has honestly become, in my opinion, a rivalry. We've played the Packers now 3 times. This will be our 3rd time within the past year.
Mm-hmm.
We had them beginning of last year, obviously in Brazil. We had them in Philly when they came to play us for the playoffs, and now we're playing them again. This is definitely becoming a rivalry. They don't like each other. And now with Micah being on that side as well, I think there's obviously people still look at him and they're like, all right, we still want to, show you that we're boss,
right.
like Lane and also and
Mailata.
Yeah, why did I just blank on oh my gosh.
It's your guy.
Sorry, Mailata.
Now, well, even with that Cowboys rivalry, God, that was a hard word to say. I think it's just one of those things. Sometimes you take it with you.
Yeah.
You play a little extra harder every snap.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts. So this is something that I think everybody needs to go ahead and understand this, okay? There's a lot of criticism to Jalen Hurts. And it pisses me off because of the fact that people want to create their image of like, this is what a perfect quarterback should be like, right? Where Jalen Hurts just wins games at the end of the day. That's just how he is, right? Through 8 games right now, 1677 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. Completing about 70% of his passes. Jordan Love, 2,000 yards right now, passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So the whole MVP talk of Jordan Love. I mean, I think people need to really give the respect to Jalen Hurts that he knows how to just win games, protect the football, and there's times when he's been able to show that you put the game on his back in the fourth quarter, he'll be able to go ahead and win the game. Biggest thing about this is that currently the Eagles obviously are sitting at the top of the NFC, but Packers are right in that 2 to 4 seed mix.
Yeah.
So this game could matter a lot for tiebreakers and could very well help them out. I'm loving the whole like old school premise too, because obviously these are like 2 classic teams that are battling it out in Lambeau. I kind of wish that I don't know. No, they're not winning. They're Kelly Greens, but I kind of wish that this was like a Kelly Green game.
Sure.
They would have all just like said, let's just do our old school game or
Yeah.
old school uniforms for this one. Biggest thing that for the Packers, the biggest loss for them is obviously Tucker Kraft. They lost him to a torn ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Kraft was having probably the best season for any tight end this year.
Balling.
It's going to come down right now, I think, to the Eagles pass rush versus that Packers O-line. If you can get to Jordan Love, I think that has bode well for other teams this season to succeed. Going back to last week against the Panthers, they got to him, and you could just see him
rattled.
He
was rattled. That one
rattled.
pick was horrible,
Yeah.
and it's like he has taken care of the football a lot better this year. Obviously, 3-1 picks through the half the season. That's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That's damn good for both of those guys. 4 picks combined.
Yeah.
But to your point, they have 2 offensive linemen on the injury report. Both were limited. Aaron Banks is one guy that's very key to inside in that interior there. So if those guys, for some reason, if they don't play, then that's a big deal. I mean, in trying to stop that Eagles front line. So you're absolutely right. That's going to be a huge factor in this game.
And to your point that you had mentioned earlier about it being a shootout, is the Eagles are averaging right now 26 points per game. Packers are 25.8 points per game, so essentially 26 points per game as well.
Okay.
This has shootout potential written all over it, especially because of the new additions on the secondary for the Eagles. There's, some obviously some benefits that they could have that the Packers could have on their end. I think it's really gonna the Packers are very, very good on the run. Like they have, obviously, Josh Jacobs is one of the best running backs in the league, and our run defense has not been that great. But with obviously the addition with Jalen Phillips, you have Nolan Smith coming back, and also Brandon Graham is, he's in full strength, so we're good. So this is primetime game. I think it's honestly what the NFL drew up perfectly. This is exactly what they they want for this point of the season. These 2 teams, or this type of game, I should say, for a Monday night, everybody watching, all eyes on the NFL. So I'm excited. I'm very, very, very freaking excited for this game.
Yeah.
And to your point, I mean, I'm hoping that this offense also gets back into the swing of things. I would love to see Jalen under center more, because if you're able to be under center more, you can, fake out the defense and
play action.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Sure's gonna be the game of the week. And like I said, Monday Night Football, after work, kick your feet up, maybe have a cold one.
Maybe.
Potentially.
We will have a cold one. And guys, do yourselves a favor. Crack a cold one when you listen to our episodes.
Oh yeah, sit back, enjoy,
Kick your feet up and just listen to our episodes and just crack a cold one.
yell when you hear something you don't like we say.
Yeah, it's like that Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, yeah, dude, literally.
All right, so moving on to the next topic that we have going on here is our upsets. Our upsets that we have. Dags, what's your upset for this week?
We were talking about it. It was really hard. It feels like every week we say this, but this week in particular was really hard to choose one. I've been horrible on this, so probably don't take what I say with take it with a grain of salt. But New Orleans over Carolina, and I say that because Carolina had a huge win over Green Bay. It took a lot. It wasn't an easy win. It was a hard earned win.
Yeah.
And New Orleans, they just made some trades, and it's one of those things like you got to think in the divisional matchup. They might try to catch him by surprise here, right? A guy that I think could potentially have a huge game versus secondary is Chris Olave, right? With Raheem Shaheed leaving that team, there's targets that got to go somewhere. Him and potentially Juwan Johnson. Those are the guys in my mind that are gonna get the ball. So with that being said, Carolina, I just think might take them a little, not seriously. So look for maybe New Orleans to get the upset in that divisional matchup game.
Carolina is shockingly, 5-4 this year?
They're playing well. I mean, I'm not saying they're not, but I don't buy the consistency.
I don't buy it either.
They're like the NFC version of the Jaguars.
That's good. I like that. I like that. I like that.
What do you got, my brother?
So last week I picked the Vikings. I was happy because obviously it worked out in my favor. This week, like Dag said, it was very tough. I'm going to predict this one again. I've had that, I think, a few times as my choice for my upset alert. Giants over the Bears.
New York.
Giants, I think, could, they lost Cam, but you have Tyrone Tracy. They did pretty well last week against San Fran.
Yeah, I think so.
So, it still shows that they, Jackson Dart is still able to figure it out over there, and Wan'Dale Robinson is, becoming that number one for them over there. So I like their chances over Chicago. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's just a tough one this week, man. It's so tough.
So that we were saying, that was one of them, and then I think the only other shot would be potentially Minnesota, right, versus Baltimore. But I think the ones that we called are the closest there. Giants, we can't forget about their defense. Their defense, the only reason they gave up, I think, more points last weekend was they were just on the field a lot. The offense was a little up and down. Ended up putting some points up themselves, but maybe a little more continuity this week.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think every single time I choose them,
They let you down.
yeah, I get bit.
Well, my guy hit last week, so you might want to follow him a little more than you follow me.
All right, let's move on. We're gonna go into our rapid fire. So, give us an update on the records where we're at.
Yeah, so for our records last week 9, you edged me out by a game. 8-5 to my 7-6. So guess what? Shocker. We're tied again for the season here, 59-39. So dead even. It's been a seesaw. I expect it to continue to be that way.
We're tied. Back at it again.
It's been a grind, I'll tell you what.
All right. Atlanta versus Indianapolis. Who you got?
I got Indy.
I got Indy as well.
Yeah.
Bouncing back. I don't see them losing back-to-back weeks as well. So, all right. Giants at Chicago.
I got Chicago.
I got Giants.
Yep.
Buffalo at Miami.
I got Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore at Minnesota.
I got Baltimore.
I got Baltimore as well. Cleveland at New York.
I've been going back and forth on this one.
I got Cleveland.
I got Cleveland too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New England at Tampa Bay.
I got Tampa.
I got New England.
Ooh, okay.
New Orleans at Carolina.
I got New Orleans.
I got New Orleans.
Yep.
Jacksonville at Houston.
I got Jacksonville.
I got Houston.
Okay.
Arizona at Seattle.
I got Seattle. Tough one.
I got Seattle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Rams at San Francisco.
I got Rams.
I got Rams in this one as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Detroit at Washington. I got Detroit.
Me too.
Pittsburgh Chargers.
I got Pitt.
I got Chargers.
Okay.
And then Birds versus Green Bay.
I got the Birds.
Go Birds!
Yeah. I think they're going to come out firing on off their bye.
All right, guys. Let's dive into the fantasy football corner. What you got for us, Degs? What you got? What you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to get him with a stardom sit-em this week.
Mm-hmm.
So for quarterback, my stardoms are Daniel Jones and Matthew Stafford. Daniel Jones playing Atlanta, giving up 20-plus points the last 3 games. They're going to be playing on neutral field in Germany. So I think it's a bounce-back game for them and the whole team, Daniel Jones being included in that. Stafford, they're just balling, playing as good as anyone. The receivers are unmatched in that duo with Adams and Puka, so big day for them. Now, the sit-ems, I got Justin Fields. I mean, I know they're coming out of a bye, but I just think that Cleveland defense is going to be just really tough for him. And not that you would start him, but in some leagues, 2 quarterback leagues, Mac Jones versus the Rams, like on the flip side, I kind of see this being a one-sided game, if I'm being honest with you. So don't expect a lot with their injuries, on the pass game there. Then my running backs. So I got Saquon as my starter and Aaron Jones as well. So with Saquon, again, coming out of the bye, I just think they're going to really figure it out. I think he's going to be a focal point. They're going to do a lot more play action. So when he does run, he's going to have more of those 5-6 yards of carry we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And then with Aaron Jones, I think that they realize after last game, they start putting him in more for some of those snaps. And I think that they know they got to use him more. Jordan Mason has been very inefficient this year. So Aaron Jones, I expect to have a really spike versus that Baltimore defense. Then the sit-ems, Kamani Vidal versus Pitt. Pitt did a good job versus Jonathan Taylor last week, who's been the best running back potentially in the league. 57 yards total offense. So I kind of feel like maybe he could have a modest game unless he gets a touchdown.
Okay.
And then Kenneth Walker versus Arizona. Arizona is another team with a nice front 7. I just don't see – I think if they're going to get it done, it's going to be in the passing game, exposing that secondary. So I don't see an efficient game from him. Now, from the receiver standpoint, I gave you a spoiler alert to Chris Olave versus Carolina.
Yeah.
I think he's going to eat. Don't be surprised if he has, maybe 10-plus targets this week here versus them. I think, what's his name? Chuck is going to really pepper him and get him the ball because he's the best. He's going to be the best guy on that field. And then A.J. Brown, right? I think he's another guy that's going to be very featured. He's going to be maybe key in that play action. I just remember from the Titans, he's one of the best receivers getting open and ready to go on those play actions. So I think he's going to definitely expose that secondary. And then sit-ems, Jameson Williams, man, he's been up and down, very touchdown dependent. He had a goose egg a few games ago. I just think he's kind of like sometimes lost in that offense. And if you don't have to start him, I really wouldn't. Like, you might even want to think about just going matchups, like even though they're not the better guy, right? And then DJ Moore, he's another one that I've felt has been kind of edged out in that rotation. They have other guys they want to go to. Loveland is after last game had a breakout game. So he's another guy that I just don't love starting, especially versus that Giants defense. And then on the tight ends, Dalton Kincaid. They're playing Miami, who is the worst versus tight ends, right? I mean, we've known that from the start. Dalton's playing pretty well this year. Like he's leading.
He's having a really good season.
He's like their leading receiver essentially. Yeah. Josh has a great connection with him. So with that, both of that, that's going to be part of that offense this week. And then my sit-em is T.J. Hawkinson. he's kind of looked like he's taken a step down. I don't know if it's the age model or what it is, but they have other guys in that offense they're going to get the ball to, and I just don't see him kind of playing well with
Okay.
those linebackers and Kyle Hamilton on his tail. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what my thoughts are there. So if you have any questions leading up to the games here, feel free to message us, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be. We want to help.
And with that being said, hopefully I can make you guys all rich with my betting. Listen, we're not the mafia over here, so we can legally do this. I got a few things here for you. So we're gonna just go through my anytime touchdown list that I have here. I got an 8-legger. Everybody, if you know me, I like to go for very long parlays. So we'll start off with, obviously, Jonathan Taylor against the Atlanta Falcons in Germany. I think that's a gimme. I have Zay Flowers versus Minnesota.
Okay.
I think that there could be, some connection there. And Minnesota, even though they have a solid secondary, obviously we know Zay Flowers is very, very shifty. They're all starting to get back into the swing of things. Kyle Monagai.
Oh, God. He looked great.
Versus the Giants. Got him getting into the end zone. I got Rico Dowdle versus the Saints. Quinshon Judkins versus the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Nico Collins. I got him against the Jags. I got Dalton Kincaid.
There you go.
Against the Dolphins. And then the last one I have here is Emeka Egbuka versus the Pats. Guys, $10 gets you $2,149.
Wow, I need that in my life.
Yeah, that would be a beautiful payout on Sunday. If you hit, let me know.
10%.
$10. Finder's fee.
Finder's fee. You know the drill.
You know the drill. All right. Well, this is yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that that one hits. That would be a good one. Let me know. Like I said, if you guys hit, or if you guys place any of these, just let me know. And
if you place it, comment.
Yeah,
we would love to know. We want
to see more engagement from our people who listen. I always love Alex Nasser. He's always the one that will.
Oh yeah, I love
always comment first. Which shout out to you, Alex. Always supporting. But yeah, so we're, this is going to be an exciting weekend. Sorry guys, my eye is, gosh. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you see me sitting here rubbing my eye like crazy. Anyways, so this this Sunday is going to be good. You got lots of players that are in new unis, and I'm just excited to watch some good football. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't get my bird until Monday night, but everybody, this episode will be out. This episode will be out before the end of today, and if you're listening, and right now it is Saturday, November 8th at 1:46. This episode will be out before the end of today.
For sure. Give it a listen.
Give it a listen. Right, just in time for tomorrow morning before that 9:30 a.m. game.
Mm-hmm.
And like we always say, when you listen to our episode, if you ain't doing anything, make sure you crack yourself a cold one.
Cheers, buddy.
And that's a wrap.
Yes, sir.